Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece manga chapter 1119, Emeth. So I'm Akainu Fanboy, the other guy is Geboss. Please like and subscribe if you have not. And we are sorry for getting this One Piece review to you out a couple days later than we usually do. We just had stuff going on, so better late than never. So
Yeah.
we have a Yamato cover story. I have no thoughts.
I mean, it's interesting to see the children have kind of flipped entirely on Kaido. So it's good to see that people are against him still. So that's about it.
Yep, that's it. And so now we have Kaku and Stussy here, which is kind of interesting. And you know they all seem to be on good terms. Kaku seems to care for her a lot and things like that too, which I think is interesting because they did present CP9 as originally these like very terrible, heartless human beings and everything like that. So it is interesting to see Kaku has a bit of a heart here, even though he did show kind of the most humanity out of Water 7 with showing remorse for leaving his life as a Galley La Company member and things like that after he got defeated by Zoro.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too, though, because he says that once Lucci gets here, he's probably going to kill Stussy for her betrayal, but he just lets her go. So I think he kind of laughs it off like, oh, you thought we were friends? And I do think that he thought that, because out of all the CP9 members, I think he had the most heart of all of them.
Yeah, it shows character growth because obviously Kaku and Lucci betrayed their friends and they were kind of laughing at Polly and all them, oh, you thought we were friends and things like that too. And now they're kind of repeating the same line, but now he like actually is hurt on the inside. Like he actually does value her as a friend. So I thought it was just kind of an interesting scene there. And I do like kind of how Kaku and Lucci have been developed by Oda during this chapter. But now we see Nika and Bonnie, and it kind of continues on here, which I think is interesting. And we see Luffy has some, a little bit more extended combat with the Gorosei and things like that too. And we see Bonnie share some of the characteristics right here. But what were your thoughts with like Luke? I guess we do see Bonnie use some of the powers in Gear 5 right here a little bit, with punching Luffy with Sanji and Frankie. So what were your thoughts on that?
So it looks like she does have some of the abilities of her Nika transformation that Luffy does. But it seems like she can't hold it for very long, because at the very end of the chapter, we see like she reverts right away after the one big attack. And I think people were kind of blowing it out of proportion. The whole we can't have two Nikas in the story. It just ruins everything. And yeah, she was never really a true one. It was just kind of a temporary power up. But what I do think is interesting is that she had hockey on it, and Frankie maybe has hockey, because Luffy comments about how it hurts because they're using hockey. I know that Sanji and Bonnie are definitely using it, but I don't know about Frankie.
He's just generalizing. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be cool if Frankie had hockey though.
Yeah.
I do find it interesting that, just like on the power thing, I don't think Bonnie, I think she just kind of has like a weakened version of Gear 5 in a way, because I think that was a Gear 5 hit that would be more than enough to send him flying, but it requires Sanji and Frankie to do this too,
Yeah, I think that she has we see that she has the stretching abilities of Luffy and everything, but I don't think she has the power behind it, because Luffy had to train for all his power.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah. We see him go flying away, Team Rocket style, and it kind of looks like he's a little bit.
I mean, yeah, he got completely just yeeted out of the whole chapter. And
he's gonna run into Arush.
Yeah. But he it's Mars, and Mars is the only one that can fly, so theoretically he can survive this.
And it was funny though, like, because you were talking about the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. I think his name was the Jupiter one, the worm one, right?
Yeah.
And I think you were like making a point, like, oh well, how's he gonna show up? And then he showed up, in this next chapter.
I mean, he had to have shown up. He wasn't doing anything. Except
we were questioning, can he be in the water and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. So it doesn't seem like the seawater's affecting him too much.
Yeah, I think he's still on land though.
Right here. Let's see.
It's kind of ambiguous, but yeah, I think he's still on land. But yeah, it was interesting that he's spitting up all the CP, the Cypherpole agents and the Seraphim. So the Seraphim are now back in possession of the government.
Yes. So, which isn't good. Yeah.
But that means that they're in closer proximity to Bonnie, who can override them. So
True. Yeah, the question is, who would outrank the Gorosei or Bonnie?
Bonnie, because she did that with the Pacifista. She has the ultimate control.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, and it does look like Jupiter is like sucking up their ships and everything like that too, which I find interesting. Also, what's really cool, the biggest part of the chapter, sorry for skipping this over, Gaimon is canon.
Dude, Gaimon and Starfunkel? Hell yeah. They were
canon.
Yeah, I mean, he's been canon. He was never. He
was in the filler episode.
No, he was in the original story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. There we go.
But yeah, Gaimon. It was funny because Vegapunk's message continues, and we'll touch on that. But we see that he says like. Those of you who can hear the message, and like I don't even think they have like a transponder snail on their island, and Gaimon's just vibing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was funny because he's like,
unless he has observation hockey, he can hear it.
Yeah, the only one we're missing is Kuro now and Arlong from the East Blue that we have yet to see.
Well, Arlong's in prison, so I guess you theoretically wouldn't have a snail.
Yeah. But yeah,
he does have those Doflamingo connections.
Yeah, and then we get to see Katakuri reacting. I guess he survived his thrashing from Aokiji. Or no, it was Caesar who knocked him out, right?
Yeah, Caesar and the Vinsmokes he was fighting. Yeah. And then he was distracted by that. He was with Levin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so as the message continues right here, so the broadcast reconnects and everything, and because like the robot, it's just like going again and again. So it's just kind of like definitely a thrashy thing. The Gorosei are not having an easy time right now.
Yeah. But with the message, I thought it was interesting. We didn't get to hear specifically what he was saying about the Will of D. But we do see kind of a continuation of it. I guess it's just like a video that's playing, and it just skipped over that section. But
yeah.
But yeah, it seems like you really wanted to say something about it, but that was the part that it got cut off at.
Yoda.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else you have to say about that, or?
No, I mean, like, yeah, that's about it. Just a little bit of control and everything. It was kind of interesting with the robots coming out of the water. It looks like Onigashima in that panel right there.
Oh yeah, it does.
And I was like, no, we're going back to water. It's returned. Kaido's back with Big Mom. They're coming in too.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole thing, I thought was interesting. This final thing where it looks like Warcurry's going to go on the ship, and he's like freely diving into the water to chase after them, which I still have my theory that they're not true Devil Fruit users. And that kind of adds to my theory, I think, because why would he try and go in the water if it would incapacitate him?
Yeah, and it's a little ambiguous, just even with Jupiter, like how far away is he?
Yeah.
You know? Like, we don't know. Because he looks kind of close, but maybe not exactly there. But yeah, I do agree with you, the water thing too, you know? So, yeah, they may not, you're right, they may not even have Devil Fruits, you know? Just more, which is even more bad trouble for the Straw Hats at this point. You know, because we still have two Gorosei who are not remotely nearby. And also, Kizaru is still off the job.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, this whole thing about Joy Boy. So we learned that the Iron Giant's name is Emmet, which means that it was alive at some point, maybe. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on that point, but maybe it was just like, I mean, it can be a creation of Vegapunk, you know? So yeah, it is weird because there seems to be like intelligent life within it, you know? Unless it's some weird Devil Fruit.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it's like, it's clearly a robot because Vegapunk was able to study it, and it's powered by specific energy, and it's an interesting thing, because it's been dormant this whole time, and it has direct ties to Nika and Joy Boy. So yeah, I'm wondering if it's something, because the only other thing we've seen react like this is Zunisha, who also has a connection with Joy Boy. Right. So I'm wondering if it does have something to do with the voice of all things. Like, it can even hear, like, and communicate with inanimate objects like a robot. That's my only guess about that.
Yeah. For sure. I'm just kind of wait to see on this point. Yeah. I don't have anything super creative in regards to the robot. So.
Yeah. But I mean, the robot's actually looking pretty strong. Like breaking a whole tusk off of a Warcurry. Like when Luffy was punching him with Gear 5, he was getting his hand hurt. So. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm
sorry, go.
So I was just gonna say, do you think that at this point the Emmett's gonna hold him off while they escape?
I think eventually he's gonna get taken down.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it would be enough for the Straw Hats and the Giants to escape. Although, knowing that like the Giants are helping them, wouldn't the government try and attack Elbaf? Or
I think that's definitely possible, unless they know Shanks is there too, and that's more of an something that gets in the way with it. But at the same time, I think I guess one obstacle. So do we know for sure 100% that Bonnie can control the Seraphim, or just the Pacifistas and the Kuma Seraphim? Because the link to Kuma and all that.
Yeah, I'd have to reread it. From what I read, it was all the Pacifistas, because they had Kuma's face. But I don't know if that extends to the Seraphim, because, I mean, they're basically Pacifistas, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the lineage with her dad is like kind of what helped lead to that and everything, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, if something bad happens with the Giants here, and that the Kuma Seraphim teleports the Straw Hats away, but the Giants don't make it out.
Or even Kuma himself.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Because I think that's a great plot point you're making there, where what if the Giants are like, if they just go on the Giant ship, they could just follow the Giants and go to Elba.
Yeah, but who knows how, I think Elbath is, I don't know, because we didn't see them at the Reverie. They would stick out, so I don't think they're associated with the world government in any way, which means that they would have to be strong enough, like Wano, to be completely independent from them. So maybe they're too scared, or they would think it was too much trouble to go after the Giants.
Yeah,
like a whole country of Giants.
I think it's fair to say they're the highest priority right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, they could possibly send like multiple admirals at that point, but
yeah,
like Ryokugyu and Fujitora, because Kizaru's kind of like, Kizaru needs a break after this.
I'm done, bro. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it would kind of be a tired plot point if they did the whole Wano, oh, there's strong people there, we can't go there because of the samurai, right? And even though they turned out not to be really any strong samurai that could hold off admirals, as we saw Agreeable how he dealt with the with the scabbards, and I think similarly here, I just think it would kind of be a little bit of lazy writing for Oda to just use that again. Oh, well, they're really strong there, we can't just go there, and they've already used the excuse of like the warlords being abolished to cause all that confusion, so if you have control of the Seraphim in their place, just send all the Seraphim, including the ones who aren't even here, right? Like Moria, Crocodile, Doflamingo, so potentially more, like Law and Blackbeard.
And Buggy.
And Weevil.
I want the Buggy Seraphim to be the strongest out of all of them. Like, just give him this broken other devil fruit ability.
Josu's devil fruit.
Yeah. Something like that.
Why not? So I don't know, maybe this is one theory I'll throw out there. I think something bad might happen to the Giants, because I don't feel like the Straw Hats have taken enough sacrifices so far getting off the island. I mean, you have the Gorosei going after you, like there should be at least some W's they pick up on the way. Yeah. I guess you could say they took down some of the Vegapunks, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of potential losses, though, it's easy to skip over, but Atlas does leave the giant ship to go check on Usopp's group with the Sunny, and she said that York's monitoring her and Lilith, who are on the connected to Punk Records, and it seems like she has a plan with Lilith. It says, Lilith, we should ... So
yeah,
that could be the way that both of them die, and potentially take out York. Because if they take out York, or York is incapacitated, they completely lose Vegapunk and access to Punk Records, I think.
I agree, but I kind of think York's too important for the government's advancement and power in the story and things like that. So I think plot-wise, she's going to stay alive, just because the flame and things like that too, So
I think it would be interesting though if like they were like, oh, we don't need Vegapunk anymore except for this one part of him, and they ultimately lose out on it. I think that would be interesting. Because
I guess that would ironically fulfill the Lucci's original intention.
Yeah, and it would kind of level cap them, like with what they're able to do, because they don't have access to Vegapunk's technology. Like, can't advance it.
And the last invention they get is the Seraphim, and that's it. And now it's over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is some interesting thoughts there. But I could see the Seraphim being activated, destroying the giant ship, or the Gorosei just getting in, taking out the last two Vegapunks, and then Kuma or the Kuma Seraphim, basically saving them, and teleporting them away somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I that could happen, but I feel more like the Iron Giant's gonna hold them at bay, and they're able to get away, because I think ultimately with the Giants, Dory and Broggy are needed for Usopp's development. So
yeah, I could also see their development. I mean, they've had a lot of good screen time during this, but I also think part of the development is they'd hold off the Gorosei for them to escape or like go down fighting. That's like a brave warrior thing to do. That would affect Usopp a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't even seen Usopp yet, though, so.
Yeah, true. I guess like if Usopp saw them go down, I guess like that's kind of what I mean, But like I think that'd be interesting. But I also think like one last element with this too. I do think Kizaru is going to help assist the Straw Hats get out too, in a very like covert way.
He's going to give Luffy more food.
unless like we do a subsequent reveal that he did that back then. Or it's just going to be something hidden at the last second that kind of saves Bonnie's life out of nowhere. You know?
I mean,
I don't think he's going to explicitly turn sides. It's just going to be a little back thing.
I mean, it is interesting that Oda did do the whole thing with the newest volume 109, where Kizaru's explicitly doing the Nika dance. So
yeah,
he didn't forget. It wasn't a one-off thing. So yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, great point bringing that up. So either Oda does the retroactive food reveal, that's how Luffy got the food, or he's going to be doing something in the next couple chapters that leads them getting away.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, those are my closing thoughts. Anything else?
No, it's pretty much it. Unfortunately, break week.
Uh-oh.
But yeah. But yeah, good chapter. I'm interested to see more about the giant. Like what level of sentience it has and everything. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. Please like and subscribe if you have not, and we will try to release a Jujutsu Kaisen review and some form of One Piece content over the next week. And we will see you guys soon. Peace.
See ya.